What's up, everyone, and welcome to Project XTalk, an Xbox podcast, episode number 68. I'm your host, Kevin, aka the Muffin Mon, and today I'm joined by the AA man himself, Garrett. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
That's great. Ethan, totally forgot your nickname again. Deleted it from the.
You know what?
Something about owning physical games.
You know what? I'm not even going to try with you anymore. I've given up. Listen, Kevin, I'm running on gas right now. I'm not going to lie.
You got to get it to under 6 words.
The only thing that's keeping me alive right now is a double shot of G Fuel. So I'm here for a great podcast. We're going to have a good time.
That's right. And for our visual watchers, you will see we have a special guest tonight. For audio listeners, I'm going to introduce him. So he is the co-host of the Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast, and 6-1 IndieCast from 6-1 Indie. He is a man who loves a platinum trophy, even if they cost $1.99. Kyle Stephenson, how are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. This isn't where I parked my car. This is the wrong ecosystem. But hey, I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me and asking me to be on. And hearing physical games just makes me even happier because I got a whole stack over here. I love that.
A fellow man of culture.
Exactly.
Very good.
Yeah. Got to preserve that history somehow.
Kevin's going to have something to say about it right now. Just watch. He's about to say something.
I'm just looking over at my digital PS5.
My Castlevania, my Hunt Down special edition from Limited Run Games.
Special editions too, and collector's editions.
Come on, Kevin, what do you got to say about this?
It's so much space. It's so much I
mean, right? You're not wrong. You're not
things
wrong.
that take up room. I hate having things around me is the problem. I like a lot of open space and physical games.
I just see the dread of moving one day. Like, oh my God, how many boxes? How many liquor stores are you going to have to ask for boxes to
Some
store
might say
that?
that's a fun thing to look forward to. I don't know.
Yeah.
And like the packing and the unpacking. Nah, moving is a chaotic thing.
No, I get that. I get that.
I'm a minimalist in that thing. I don't like things. Clothes, furniture, let's go.
That's why I wish they made an Xbox without a disc drive to match my PS5 digital. So,
right?
Absolutely.
I wouldn't have minded that. I didn't put a disc in my Series X yet. It's been like a year, 2 years.
That's right. Well, all right. I'm going to make you a little more uncomfortable now, Kyle, because as we do for all our guests here, we got to ask you, what was your first Xbox and what is your favorite Xbox franchise?
Oh, first Xbox. All right. This is going to be interesting. It was the One X. It was very recent.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, I've always only had a PlayStation. And some Nintendo handhelds here and there, but it wasn't until I started getting into content creation, podcasting, whatnot. Always appreciating what Xbox had to offer, just never had the drive or pull to grab one. I was like, you know what? Let me get one and hop on and play some Xbox stuff that I've never played before, like Halo and Gears and whatnot. And I had a great time with it. And like now I own a Series X and absolutely love it. As far as favorite Xbox franchise, probably have to say Gears because that's the most I've played. I really dig.
Good choice.
I really dig the whole thing that Gears has going on. Yeah,
great.
I noticed a lot of people who come over like Gears first. That's like this trilogy that I always like refer people to.
I think that's the closest to like what PlayStation has to offer because it's like the third person over the shoulder kind of thing. And I'm just not a first person shooter, so Halo is just not kind of my jam.
Yeah.
Even with Joe telling you how good he is at Halo all the time,
listen. I will never compare to Joe's skills in a first-person shooter. So I let him have it. It's his thing. It's fine.
Oh, that's great. I have one last question for you, Kyle.
Sure.
And I didn't put this one in the document. I was talking with my friend Sean Capri the other day. We the Gamercast. And I just gotta know how do I get Joe to follow me back on Twitter?
Oh man, I don't know. I don't know. I noticed he does that a lot.
Wait, hold on. I think he followed me back. Let me check real quick.
No, there's he doesn't even know you.
I tweeted this morning.
You weren't part of the show when he was on.
Oh, jeez.
Hold on, let me check.
Oh man,
it might have been you, Kyle, that followed me back.
It probably might have been me.
Mr.
And if I didn't, I'll do it at some point.
It was Kyle. Yeah,
Joe's an enigma. He does things that no one else does, and I have no answers for him. I don't know.
I jest.
I respect that.
Yeah.
I jest. It's just, I got Luke, I got Ains. I'm collecting the Infinity Gauntlet
Exactly. Yeah, you're doing it yourself.
Co-hosts, but nobody can tell me what Joe. But that's for a different show. Before we get into our show, guys, as I mentioned, if you haven't already, please head on over and check out We the Gamercast. I sat down with Sean Capri for a very open and honest discussion about my love of Smash Brothers and starting content creation. So that's available at You Me Capri on his YouTube channel and We the Gamercast. So go over, listen to that if you haven't. If you like our podcast, remember we are live usually every Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern time right here on YouTube. If you can't catch us live, we post every Friday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern time on all your favorite podcast services. While you're over there, we'd love if you could drop us a review and rating, whether that be on Apple or Spotify now. It really does help us grow. If you want to interact with us more, join our Discord. The link is down in the description below. Come and chat games with us. Speaking of Apple, if you leave a 5-star review, we will read it live on the show. And for those that don't know, we have a Patreon. If you support us at any tier, you get the Patreon shout out and early access to all our content, except this live show, obviously. But everything else, you get early access. So thank you to Bucky Blue, our Patreon supporter. We couldn't do it without you. Thank you for supporting our show. And guys, now that housekeeping's out of the way, I begin each and every week by going around the room and asking one simple question. And that question is, what you playing? So Kyle, as the guest, I want to know, what you playing?
Actually, I could talk about an Xbox game here.
All right.
I've just been devouring Nobody Saves the World by Drinkbox. As a massive fan of Drinkbox, from Guacamelee to Severed, they're one of my favorite studios, and won't lie, a little salty that I can't get trophies yet. I say yet, because Death's Door did eventually come over, and funny enough, that is the reason I bought a Series X, was to play Death's Door, and then months later it comes to PlayStation. But yeah, Nobody Saves the World is just absolutely fantastic, incredibly charming.
Mm-hmm.
It's visually stunning, and I love how deep the gameplay can get.
Yeah.
Like eventually, as you're unlocking these forms, which are basically like husks of the main character, who all do different things, you can then change what the attacks are and mix and match and have a character that can affect poison or inflict poison or and shoot arrows at the same time, like to do multiple different things at once. It is it's awesome. It's really, really fun. And it's on Game Pass. Play the game.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think
putting, poison on Gallop. That's fun.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so I was gonna say, I think we've all been playing Nobody
We're
Saves
all
the World.
well versed in that. So question time, because you got like a panel of Nobody Saves the World people here. Did you do solo or co-op?
I briefly played co-op for a 6-1 indie video with Mike. I enjoy that it brought me up to his level because he was way ahead, and it I enjoyed that there wasn't like it wasn't a level like 40 character and me level 20, and I was struggling to keep up. I like how they kept it that way. But yeah, I'm mostly a solo player anyway, so I kind of stick to myself. Yeah.
All right. So I know Garrett and Ethan, you guys have been playing solo, right?
Yeah.
Well, like that's the thing. I shelved my solo run. Like I got up to like I think like I was finishing up the second main act where you just sort of like clean up all the dungeons and you're going back to do the main story element. And like that grind is just starting to impact you. And it's just like you always got to do like these little weird auspicious things, like go do light damage with a horse character to more than 4 characters at a time to get your next level. And it's just like I was starting to get really tired of doing that solo. So I just shelved it. And then my buddy Stealth that I play with all the time, shout out to him. Me and him just wanted to try a little co-op run. And in, I think it was like 47 minutes was our play time together on the save file. We already did like the first act 1.
Yeah.
He did the archer line. I did the guard line, and I ended up at Turtle when we were doing the first boss. So I was like, there is such a difference between solo and co-op in that game. It is staggering.
Yeah, I'm gonna let Ethan go first, but I wanna touch on that point.
Yeah, I'm pretty much in the same situation as Garrett, where I shelved my solo run. Honestly, I'm not a fan of grind in video games very much. I can take a limited amount, but when it gets to the level of nobody saves the world, that's when I kind of tap out. But I stayed in it for so long just because I loved so much the core gameplay mechanics of this. Like Kyle was saying, the different forms that you can do with the different combos, it is just an absolutely flawless combat system to me for a dungeon crawler.
Oh, yeah.
I had an absolute blast with it, but unfortunately it's just that constant grind. I went, I think the day I quit, I spent probably about 45 minutes to an hour just grinding a low level dungeon, trying to level up characters. And I was like, I can't do this over and over and over again. So same boat as Garrett, unfortunately, but I am open to doing a co-op run in the future.
Yeah, so I would definitely recommend you guys playing co-op. I have my reviews coming out. I don't remember when I scheduled it for, but I 100% at the game, Kyle. I played co-op the entire time, and this is a game where, like, if it came to PlayStation, it was like reasonably priced. You know, maybe I'd go grab the platinum too, because But co-op changes this whole game for me. I think there's no grind at all when you play co-op. It's absolutely a breeze, and you can get broken character combinations. Me and my brother, I was the necromancer, he was the magician. We got 50 plus familiars just rolling with us, mowing everything down. You can put on the passes where they explode. Like some of the gameplay clips that I recorded for this review, it's an entire boss fight in 12 seconds or something. Like it's absolutely ridiculous. So the balancing is very off in co-op, I think, which not to its detriment. I think that's a great experience. But I do think they need to maybe tweak the solo play, because I hear the grind is we crashed the servers with how many we summoned. That's a true statement. We got kicked off the servers because we summoned too many familiars. So it was a fun time. I love that game 100%. 22 hours I think we got it in total. So it's not that long, but it's a phenomenal game. Absolutely. I agree with you.
I understand where you're coming from with the grinding aspect, because there is constantly new quests popping up. And while it's really cool that they're on the screen and they're easily accessed so you can view them and whatnot, there is a whole lot. And I was a little bit getting overwhelmed, like when I look at The Witcher 3's map, kind of where all the icons all over the place. Like there's so many quests all the time. I'm a little overwhelmed, kind of thing. So I understand that.
Yeah, I would be way more than willing to jump back into this, but I mean, February is honestly going to be very busy for all of us gamers. I don't see a time where I can fit that game in and justify doing grind when I could be playing some of these other titles coming out. But I'll probably shelve it and get back to it sometime in the middle of the year and definitely finish it up.
Absolutely. Anything else you've been playing, Kyle, that you want to touch on?
Nothing that I can talk about.
Ooh, okay.
But I have been hopping. I did hop back into Horizon Zero Dawn, just because Forbidden West is right around the corner, and I forgot how much I love that game, because I haven't played it since it came out, and I platinumed it back in 2017. Wow. So good. I'm so ready and so excited to just draw the bow back on the DualSense and just be blown away by that. I can't wait.
Feel it.
Yeah,
for sure. For sure. Well, only a few weeks left.
I know. Finally went gold today. Whew.
Great news. All right. Well, Ethan, I'm gonna head over to you. What have you been playing besides Nobody Saves the World?
Yeah, I've been continuing my PC playthrough of God of War. It is just one of the most phenomenal video games I've ever played in my life. I've been out of the PlayStation ecosystem since the PlayStation 2 days, and I've been looking for a PS5 this whole time. I just keep missing restocks, or I don't have the money at the time when I find one. But I look forward to working on the backlog. I played Horizon Zero Dawn a couple months ago. That was also on Steam, so I've been enjoying that they're porting more of those over, and God of War is just a flawless port. Absolutely beautiful with DLSS ray tracing on the NVIDIA graphics card. I mean, it's just stunning. And then I've also been playing, as you saw this morning, Kevin, Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. Missed it back when it first came out. I was doing something at the time. I didn't have time to play it. And boy, I am glad I decided to pick it up the other day, because I wanted to play it in preparation for Hellblade 2. And I mean, playing God of War and Hellblade at the same time, I looked at them and they're very similar games in terms of how like the movement is, not necessarily the combat, but just the art style of both of them. And they're both absolutely stunning. If you told me this game came out this month, I would believe you. And sure. Obviously they updated it for the Series X, but an absolutely incredible game. And then of course Halo Infinite, just still on that grind, even though it's miserable. I'm a glutton for punishment, I guess. It's just how it works.
I'm glad to hear you're playing Hellblade because that is my favorite game of last gen. As I've said multiple times on this podcast, I absolutely adore the story that Senua goes through, and I went back and got the 100% when they upgraded it this generation for the Series X console. So I don't know if you're doing that. That could be a little if you miss a rune and then
I've already had to backtrack a couple of times. The only thing I don't like is like the ASMR style whispering. I love it. I mean, it's good, but I wear my headphones and it makes my ears ring. It makes my ears ring whenever I hear it, and it's just. Other than that, flawless game.
Okay. Kyle, did you want to say something? I saw you tapping your mic.
Oh, I was muting it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I'm loving it. So like on the trophy room, Joe and I are very happy that PlayStation games are being ported over to PC because like everyone should experience those games. We feel, especially God of War, like top of the line kind of thing. And I'm loving that you're digging it, Ethan. I just got to ask, are you going to get some mods in there? Are we going to get like do the RE7 mod where it's like Atreus big and Kratos is the little guy? You know, like
I'd love to see it. We need to see something like that because that's what keeps those games alive. You know what I mean? I mean,
I know. I saw somebody did a mod already in God of War where it's CJ from Grand Theft Auto as Kratos. Like, yes. Keep it coming.
Here we go again.
Oh my god. No, okay. I played that game last January because PS5 is my first PlayStation. So I experienced God of War for the first time last year. So it makes me happy to hear that game is absolutely phenomenal. Like it's definitely not overrated it's right where it deserves to be. Absolutely. It's a phenomenal experience.
And I'll say this, I said it last week too, but to any listeners out there who are God of War fans, I would recommend if you got a decent PC of picking it up again and replaying it through. If
I ever get a Steam Deck, I am playing God of War wherever I go.
You're just talking about that for the podcast. I'm like, I need one of those. Those are cool.
Yeah, those Valkyries can kick my butt on handheld.
Yep.
Oh, that's great. Garrett, I'm going to head over to you. Want to know what you've been playing?
Well, of course, Nobody Saves the World. And I don't know. I've been trying to find an RPG to play.
Okay.
Because, I don't know, Dying Light's coming out. So, I settled on Dying Light. And, man, I love the ragdoll physics. I still, they hold up. 8 years later, I loaded that. You guys should try it before Dying Light 2 comes out if you're gonna play it. But my God, just going around why don't we have that in every video game with a zombie?
It's pretty impressive. That game is still impressive. Even
it still holds up. And the parkour running around, how responsive it is, how quick and enabling the controls are. I started a whole new playthrough. Loaded up my old characters, no, this isn't doing it justice. Right back to start. and I can't wait for number 2. Pre-ordered the middle edition one. There's the 3 editions.
Pre-order, bold move.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it's but I don't know. I'm a little annoyed with how toxic the Twitter space is on Dying Light 2 right
Really?
now. Well, it's just
hour thing, the 500-hour thing.
No, not the 500-hour thing. People are now that a whole bunch of videos are coming out of people playing through the game, everyone is picking it apart, even though that they came you know how Cyberpunk did that whole playthrough, and everyone came out and it was just a polished up scripted version of the game. They came at least through this one. It's yo, we didn't want to show you guys the fully polished up version because we still want there to be an upgrade. But how did they word it? It's just going to be a little section of the game. It's basically our demo version that we used for internal testing. And people are picking it the hell apart. people are already canceling their pre-orders, apparently, from what you see, because it's just going to be the next Cyberpunk 2077.
Wow.
Yeah,
I have
and I
not
was
seen
just
any
like,
of this, by the way.
yeah, and I was like, that's a little infuriating. I would play it just for the parkour and zombie killing alone.
Yeah.
It's great that there's a story attached and with world element building. But yeah, no, I can't wait. It's like 8 days now. Ooh,
Yeah.
it's gonna be good.
Next week.
Crazy.
Next week,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Next Friday.
Next Friday, kicking off the February
Right?
cluster.
And then every
of
week
games.
is a big game coming out.
Huge.
Mhm, for sure. All right, guys. Well, I'll wrap up what you've been playing. So I've been playing. Obviously, we talked about Nobody Saves the World. I've been playing a little game called Paparazzi because
I forgot to mention
I
that.
saw
Hell
you
yeah.
that. How is that? Like, actually, like, talk about
well-
it. Is it a quick score? I'm making a list for March.
Well, it was broken for me for about a week. I played it for like 30 minutes when it came out last week, and then it wouldn't work. The game just kept crashing, and then yesterday it got fixed apparently, or it's working again. It's I wouldn't say it's a great game. It's like it's silly. Makes me a little uncomfortable sometimes. Mainly, so. I thought it was a human being going around taking pictures of these dogs.
That's so weird.
And then I went into selfie mode because I'm trying to get the 100% because it's an easy achievement list. And then you realize you're this giant camera
It's
with
so
legs.
terrifying.
And it's the creepiest. I'm like, oh my.
You
like,
know how I first noticed it is I looked at the shadow of my player, of my character model, and I saw these 2 sticks going up in a big box. I'm like, oh my god, am I the microwave from Goat Simulator? Like, I was terrified. Oh, that's so funny.
I had no idea. So like I learned you could double jump, and I was like, why can I double jump? I'm a human. Like, this doesn't make any sense. And then I went into selfie mode, and I was like, what is this? What is this monstrosity?
Wait, Kevin, are you saying you can't double jump in real life, like right now?
No, I
that's
can't.
weird. I can.
Ooh.
You got to level up.
I gotta
level up your acrobatics.
That must be it. Every year you get closer to double jump. That's sweet. But yeah, no, the game is just silly. Like, it's just completing little checklists. Like, take this picture, post the picture. You know what happened? You know what I do get? I post almost like every picture I take, and then the people on social media, they're like, "Stop spamming," and I was like, "No." You can't make me. I took a good picture of this dog. You're gonna see it.
Damn, I didn't know you're personally attacking me.
No, but it's fine. I'm gonna hit the 1,000 gamer score and then probably never think about paparazzi again. But I also jumped back into Blinks the Time Sweeper.
Hell yeah.
Ooh.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I'm a huge 3D platformer guy, as anyone that's listened to us knows. And Blinks was actually one I never played as a kid. So I was like, you know what? It's on Game Pass. It's backwards compatible. I'm going to jump in and try Blinks and see how well it aged. And I have a little video going out about it, but it's not as good as I wanted it to be. And maybe that's because it's 2022 and the game came out in 2002. But I see where there's promise there and understand why people liked it back in the day. But through 2022 lens, I don't think you really need to go play this game. And I'll share more thoughts in my review of that. And then the last one is a PS5 game, Monarch. The demo came out, JRPG from former Shin Megami Tensei developers. It's the best way I could describe this game is the meme where the kid goes, "Mom, I want Persona 6," and the mom goes, "We got Persona 6 at home," and then it's Monarch. And I mean that in the best way. Like, I pre-ordered the game. Like, I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be great. Like, I really liked the 2 hours because they let you play through chapter 1 that I played of it. And your progress carries over, which is nice. I really like the story. Yeah, I like the story. If you're a JRPG fan, I think you'll see the Persona and Shin Megami Tensei influences for sure. I like the battle system. It's like a turn-based strategy thing. You can like run around and position your people, and then they have like a circle where they can attack people in that circle. So I think the battle system's pretty good. And you can customize your little skeleton boy you can summon that fights with you. You can put little outfits on him. So I'm all for that. But yeah, that's what I've been playing. I'm excited for Monarch. That's my February game. It comes out right in between Horizon and Elden Ring.
Oh no!
In case anyone is curious, the 22nd is that release date.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's the game's
And we're
not
also
gonna...
not talking about Sifu's coming out too. That's coming to PC, and I'm picking that bad boy up.
Yeah, February's packed. You gotta pick your battles. You gotta see what's going on. But anybody else have anything to share before we get into the actual show? All right. Well, then it's time for a segue. So have a seat while I grab some books from the library and tell you this week's stories. Story number 1 is the continued fallout from the Activision-Blizzard deal. Over the last week, we've seen numerous members of games media and fellow podcasters discuss Activision-Blizzard being acquired by Xbox. They argue exclusivity, consolidation, engage in absolute nonsensical console wars, depending on who you listen to over on Twitter. But the simple fact remains, we won't know what the deal means for quite some time. However, a report from Bloomberg on Tuesday says that the Call of Duty will be on PlayStation at least through 2023, with Infinity Ward's new Modern Warfare coming this fall, followed by a new game from Treyarch next fall, and the next iteration of Warzone in 2023. Kyle, I want to get your perspective, because last week it was a bunch of us Xbox boys talking about this. How do you feel about this acquisition, and specifically the Call of Duty, that it will probably be here for at least a few more years?
Yeah. So the moment it happened, like I was when Xbox swapped Bethesda, I was bummed just because PlayStation is my go-to ecosystem, and not being able to play like Wolfenstein on my console of choice, it bummed me out. Now that I own everything, it's not that much of a bummer. Same thing kind of with this. The only thing that this time around made me a little, I'm not going to say upset, because there are way more important things to be upset over than Xbox buying Activision Blizzard. I was just like, I was thinking back like when I started playing PlayStation and the pillars of being Spyro, Crash, Tony Hawk, and then Guitar Hero in college, and now those will no longer be on PlayStation, but now on Xbox. It stung a little bit because those are pillars to me as a video gamer. But realistically, I think it was a smart buy by them. I mean, why not at this point, really? And as far as like Call of Duty, which is not my jam, I do appreciate that for those that do play it, having a little bit of a buffer in between to prepare for eventual Call of Duty only on Xbox kind of thing. That makes sense. But from the PlayStation side of things, I'm really excited about this because it's going to force PlayStation to make moves and be more competitive and do cool new things to try to keep up. And that's how we are going to keep getting bigger and better things. And like we talked about on the short room this week, how like Deviation Games is doing a brand new AAA IP first-person shooter. We got London Studios who's hiring for a shooting game. We have Firewalk Studios, which is also making a PlayStation first-person shooter. So they clearly are now understanding that there's a void of first-person shooters on PlayStation, and they're trying to fill that void with whatever it is. Hopefully Resistance one day. I want that franchise so bad. But yeah, I think it's good for PlayStation because it's going to force them to be weird again and do cool things to keep up. And obviously it's good for Xbox because that Game Pass is like, I know it's a big joke, everyone says it, but like, how can you not bring it up like in a conversation? It's just that it's almost perfection, really.
Now, speaking of Game Pass, do you subscribe to Game Pass since you are the physical, like you prefer physical media? I'm just curious.
Yeah,
on that.
I do actually.
Okay.
When it comes to Xbox, I don't mind just doing digital only because, like you said, like everyone is like physical or space is running a little low. Absolutely. So I'd rather keep that for like my PlayStation things or like Switch limited run kind of things. So
for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Ethan, thoughts on Call of Duty staying on PlayStation for at least the next 3 entries?
I mean, yeah, I think we saw that coming. Contracts go out farther than this deal is going to be finalized. And Warzone 2, I mean, that's probably going to be around for 5 years plus, probably. And so PlayStation will still have a Call of Duty presence on it for a while. Definitely don't think it's going to go past that, though. I think the Xbox team has shown that they want to make these games exclusive. I remember the conversation after the Bethesda acquisition. People were saying they're never going to make Elder Scrolls or Fallout exclusive. That's crazy. Those are like tenets of gaming. They can't do that, and they did. They did really quickly. So I don't think they're going to keep it on PlayStation past whatever their contracts say. But I wanted to talk to Kyle's point about seeing these games come over here and not being able to play it on your preferred platform. Is, as an Xbox player, of course, I was initially excited at the acquisition deal, but quickly I realized I'm like, yeah, this probably upset some people, and I completely understand. You'd rather play these games with a DualSense controller than an Elite Series X or whatever our controllers are called. I don't even know what they're called, but yeah, I completely understand the frustration because I have the same thing with the Knights of the Republic remake. I mean, that was an Xbox IP back in the day that I played growing up, and now I have to wait a year for the remake unless I can get my hands on a PS5. But I think we can all agree that these IPs like Crash, like Spyro, like Guitar Hero are better in the hands of Xbox than they were at Activision. And so
I think that is the shining light out of all this is they're going to now take it from Activision, which was all about Call of Duty, and like I am happy that like Toys for Bob are going to get a chance to flex their muscles, bring Vicarious Visions off of whatever they were doing, and like give these teams High Moon Studios, right, who made the Transformer games of last PS3 360 gen. They were fantastic, and they were stuck being support studios. Like, I'm happy for them to do their creative things finally.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting to see what comes out of it and to see some of these developers actually gain independence again. It's going to be great.
Bucky Blue says, I'm looking forward to a revival of Guitar Hero.
You and me both.
Right?
Yeah. I'm a huge Rock Band fan.
Yes.
I love Rock Band. Whenever me and the friends, we have one friend who spent probably $2,000 on Rock Band downloadable DLC songs.
That's me.
So whenever we go over, we play all the pop punk songs that he's downloaded. Like we jam out for hours. So
I actually taught myself the real drums.
Yeah.
Along, like, watching the Rock Band rock track and playing that on the real drum set. Because that's how good and, like, close to it is.
So one thing I'm excited for is if they do bring back Guitar Hero, they're going to have to produce more of those plastic instruments, because if you know the Rock Band and Guitar Hero scene, they're absurdly overpriced right now. Like $700 for a guitar.
It's disgusting.
Yeah. So like if one breaks, you can't, like, I was at my girlfriend's for Christmas and their family busted out their old one. They're playing their PS3 because they're older. They don't care what they're playing on. They don't need a PS5, and they're just strum doesn't work. Like, it's a bunch of and they're just like fine with it because what do they care? They're just like having but like me, who's like, I'm trying to get 100% here, messing up because your buttons are sticky and all this nonsense. Like, I wish I could just go grab you a $30 plastic guitar, but
I can't reach for it right now, but I have that Nintendo DS one that you would put on your hands and stick to the back of the DS and play like a keyboard.
What was that? Was that Guitar Hero on tour?
Yes.
On tour. Was it?
Yeah, it came in like a box with the whole hand thing. It's awesome. Pretty cool. Yeah,
that's very cool. No, yeah, I echo, because Crash is one of my beloved IPs. And like I said, I just replayed the Insane trilogy. I've played Crash 4. I love Crash Bandicoot. So anything that gets Toys for Bob and Vicarious Visions out from underneath Call of Duty and Diablo is what I want. But in terms of Call of Duty, I think this is kind of what I said last week, where I thought they would keep at least Warzone on for a few more years, and then they're going to fulfill contracts. I don't think this was really a earth-shattering report from Jason Schreier. Garrett, what do you think? I'm interested to get your thoughts.
Like, I think this is all to be expected stuff, so it's really hard to comment on it. Like, everyone's like going, ooh, they might go exclusive in 3 years after the contracts go up. Well, no, politely. But resounding or on that note, I think like I'm more interested in what PlayStation's going to be doing now
Mhm.
because they have to make a move. And like I just think for them to compete with what Game Pass is becoming and just the Xbox as a whole, I think it would go against their core community too much. Because like we're sitting around your story fire, but let's go down over to Garrett's conspiracy corner. I
Oh
don't
God.
think a standard Game
Here we
Pass
go.
model would work with PlayStation. Because I was
Okay.
actually thinking about it
So you're
with a
saying
friend
like
the other
day and
day.
date, like new releases, that won't work?
I'm saying a day and date model where your main games are play for 30 hours
Mm.
will never work as a Game Pass model. You will go through your 30-hour games way too quickly in a year and be back slewing through your B-rate games that we also play a lot of. Because like Nobody Saves the World, we all have a great time with and it's a lot of fun, but mass media considers it a B-rate game.
Okay.
I think
Double A
that
or indie is what
yeah,
you mean. Okay.
yeah, yeah. So like I just think the way that their exclusives and everything their business model is set up is that unless they completely resistance is revived with a lot of replayability kept in mind, they can't. No matter what model they come up with for Game Pass, it's going to be DOA.
Yeah,
Alright.
I don't think, and I don't think I want day and date with PlayStation games for
Mhm.
whatever Spartacus ends up being. What I want is just give me that. I think what PlayStation has that Xbox doesn't have is lineage and history of
Mhm.
a huge library of games. So like, give me PS1, PS2, PS3 access with this Spartacus, and maybe a month after an exclusive comes out, then we get it on whatever service it is, or like 2 months or something. But yeah, I don't think the, like you said, the 4 or 5 exclusives we'll get from first party studios a year, it's
Yeah.
not going to sustain at all. No, I agree with you on that one.
Okay. I in terms of that, I did want to transition to a discussion since you brought up PlayStation. I've seen a lot of discourse this week about is Game Pass eventually going to be on PlayStation? And I wanted to know, Kyle, what do you think? Because I know you've probably heard this as well. Some people will be like, Game Pass is going to come to PlayStation at some point. For me, I personally don't see it happen. I don't think Sony would let that happen. Is where I'm at.
I'm in like, I could see it happening and also can't see it at all. Right? Like I could see the way that if Sony wants to keep having a Call of Duty on their service, then that would be the way to get Game Pass on the system, right? The only way to play on PlayStation is through the Xbox Game Pass app or something like that, as a way to kind of like start it up. But also, like, yeah, I don't think they will ever cross over.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I think the friendliness of Nintendo and Xbox are as close as I think two companies will get.
Yeah.
Especially with Sony and Microsoft. I don't think they'll ever get that old buddy. But it's very interesting. I mean, unless Sony pays Microsoft a bunch of money to put Game Pass on the console, but like, I don't know why they would.
I'm not sure. I think Mayday Bomber in the chat, he's talking about Spartacus. Sony can't afford day and date without some sort of Disney Plus $30 charge like they do for movies. Xbox is able to not worry about taking a loss because it's Microsoft, where Sony relies on PlayStation so much. They need to remove the tier system for Spartacus if it's a thing, and backwards compatibility needs to be downloadable and not streaming. Fully agree on that. On both of those, probably. I've been saying the Disney Plus thing for a while. I know you just said you don't want the day and date. I think they either commit to day and date or they don't ever do day and date at all.
Yeah,
because if they're like they come 6 months down the road, well, nobody's going to buy your game then. They're just going to wait 6 months. I think that would be a bad thing. But if they want to make money still, I think the Disney Plus idea is a great one to go. I think Court Lalonde was the first one I saw bring this up, and I discussed it with him, and I was like, yeah, I would do that. I would subscribe to the PlayStation Plus whatever and then pay $30 to play God of War Ragnarok day one.
Yeah, that sounds. I mean, I don't know who would say no to that, honestly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Okay. And then backwards compatibility, obviously
Oh yeah,
downloadable.
yeah.
I
I mean, to be fair, a lot of people don't use the service as much, but like PlayStation Now, while no Game Pass killer, will never compete against it, it's a pretty darn good service, and there's a lot of really good games on there, and the streaming isn't that bad. But again, it could be better. Just give us the options of downloading, because like my internet one day could be great, and the other day it'll take 3 days to download a smaller game from the store. So like just having that option to be able to just have it and not rely on the internet. Like I'm on the East Coast this weekend, we're getting hit with a nor'easter. I'm going to get like 12 to 18 inches of snow. I doubt the internet's going to be steady during that storm.
Gotta
so,
love
like,
nor'easters.
Love them. But yeah, I think downloading has to be an option. It has to be.
I had PS Now for 3 months, from November to, I think it just ran out a few weeks ago. I used it to play every Sly Cooper game because Sly Cooper was always a game I wanted to play.
Yeah, nice.
And streaming was fine. It wasn't stellar. I had one hiccup the entire 4 games I played. However many hours that is. So it wasn't like unplayable, but was it my preferred method? No, I would have preferred to download it to my console and like just, it would have been a smoother experience overall.
Yep. I died many times in RE4 because of the streaming issues when I first played that last year. Yeah.
Yeah. So I fully agree on that. Ethan, you got anything else to say on the Call of Duty PlayStation Game Pass situation going on here?
In terms of Game Pass going to PlayStation, yeah, it's never going to happen. I don't see how it benefits Sony at all, because it's not like an online marketplace where they could take commission off of purchases. I mean, the subscription is going to be running through Microsoft, and all Sony is going to be doing is giving exposure to its competition. So it doesn't make sense for them to put it on their platform. And then on the other hand, it would have to be a cloud-based service because they're not going to develop the games to run natively on PlayStation 5, because then there's no point in buying an Xbox anymore if you could just play all the Xbox games on PlayStation.
Well, they were talking to each other about using the Azure servers not that long ago. So that is a possibility.
Yeah, it's a possibility for the cloud-based service to be on it, but I don't see how Sony benefits at all from it. I don't see how they would even consider the idea, but yeah.
Garrett, you were going to say something?
Well, just as a final note, you guys are doing great. I'm just in final place all the time, so I'm just sort of picking up the scraps.
Thanks, buddy.
But yeah, no problem. I see it as likely as like a 4-year-old after the next God of War comes out, coming out to Xbox. So like a 1% chance of that ever happening. And that's just because like you can't put anything or take anything off the table. Xbox bought Activision-Blizzard and God of War is on PC. Nobody knows what to expect.
Yeah.
Throw God of War into Game Pass PC and we got
I'm not saying throw it onto Game Pass and PC. I'm just saying like after 4 years, after PlayStation has wrung every last exclusive penny out of it that they could, Xbox gets a 4-year-old version of the game. Maybe I could see, like you guys said, a cloud exclusive. But that's just like wild putting yarn on the wall sort of stuff. I no. Simply put, no.
You love conspiracy theories over here.
Yeah. I just love an interesting takes. And like I'm last, so you guys are like the crumbs I'm picking off the floor. There's some gems, that's for sure.
Amblix says we'd see Game Pass on Steam before PlayStation.
Yeah, like that's very true.
Which isn't that also just like not needed? Game Pass on Steam?
Yeah, they have Game Pass on PC already.
Like just load up just double click your other icon.
That's also the thing. We're running into a thing where like the services are just overlapping each other.
Yeah. But do you know
it's
what
like redundant.
Steam on Xbox with proper keyboard and mouse support, so I could get my RTS fix in. I feel like that's just like a branch that's been cut off to me as a console player. Like Halo 2, it does do like a good conversion over to controls well, but you need proper keyboard and mouse support.
Get a Steam Deck. It's a problem solved.
A handheld RTS experience? No.
You can plug a keyboard and mouse
into it. Give me the rope.
It.
I will figure out how to tie a noose myself.
Oh my god. All right. Well, on that note, we're gonna go to story number 2, guys. in a story that before last week was unimportant, well, not unimportant, but unrelated to Xbox, Raven Software is now going to be acquired by Xbox. So we got to talk about it. Raven Software QA workers have unionized within Activision-Blizzard. This comes from Nicole Carpenter over at Polygon. Quality assurance workers at Raven Software, a subsidiary of Activision-Blizzard, are unionizing with the Communication Workers of America. The group, called Game Workers Alliance, is the first group of workers to form a unit under Activision-Blizzard. Workers are asking, oh my God, what did you do to this document, Ethan? Why did you do that? He typed banana in all caps in the middle of my story.
I love a good chaos.
Professionalism. Oh my God. Oh my God. Workers are asking the company to voluntarily recognize the union, which has the support of the supermajority of Raven Software QA workers at 78%. Raven Software QA workers have been on strike since early December after Activision Blizzard denied new contracts for 12 members of the QA team. According to the CWA, Activision Blizzard has not cooperated with worker organizers. Instead, it's used surveillance and intimidation tactics, including hiring notorious union busters to silence unions. It just came out, I think, yesterday that Activision Blizzard has announced they will not voluntarily recognize the union, which, in my opinion, is a shame. It's you hate to see it. Garrett, since you were complaining of going last, I'm gonna let you go first.
You got to rewind. You chose me the one to go first on the one that I had like nothing to say on. Like, what a roll of the dice.
Listen, I give you the show notes.
I know. I was regretting that. It's just like, shit, he's gonna ask me to go first next time.
He's been sleeping the last 2 days. Come on now.
Yeah, really. Like,
Okay.
night shift has been taking it out of me. So like, God.
Okay. All right. Well,
go back once again. Give me a.
Raven Software has formed a union within Activision Blizzard because their QA team was striking because 12 members got their contracts denied, their renewals. They basically moved out there and were like, "Hey, sorry, you're all fired." And Activision Blizzard has a bunch of issues going on. I don't know if you've heard that over the last year we've been talking about it.
I'm not that clueless. Like, no,
so now they formed a union, and Activision Blizzard says, "We're not going to recognize your union."
I don't know. Controversial because like I am all for Activision bad, but I don't know. I grew up as a blue-collar worker. Union also bad.
Ooh.
Yeah, okay. Like I don't know. I prefer stuff happens, man. People get fired for weird reasons, and we're dealing with a company that is that big and astronomical. Things are gonna happen. It's not like they didn't have a lot on the plate already with, a litany of lawsuits and maybe being bought out by Xbox. I'm guessing plenty of things got lost in paperwork and lots of people lost their jobs. Recognizing the union, I just sort of seems like a lot to be putting on their plate after they're dealing with, like we said, lots of harassment issues, being bought by Xbox, switching over company management might be a big thing in the corporate ladder. But yeah, I think that's pretty well sum up.
Okay, I'm gonna go. Kyle, I know you have strong feelings on Activision Blizzard. What are your feelings on this story?
Are we allowed to curse on the show? Can I curse?
We try not to.
We try not to.
You're a
minimize.
special guest, though. Come on.
But if you,
I'll just use the initial.
Okay.
F Bobby Kotick and Activision completely. Like,
no.
No, I'm not saying you're not saying that, Garrett. Absolutely not. I'm just saying, like, this seems par for the course with the leadership under Activision. Until that deal goes through and Microsoft is now taking over and Daddy Phil takes over, this kind of stuff is still going to happen, unfortunately, and it's a shame. I do think unions and games are super important because of just the intense work situations that they go through, especially there. Like, if any place needs to have more help and support of the developers themselves, it would be at Activision Blizzard, from everything we've heard. So to hear that they finally got all that thing together, and then for it to just be like, oh, that's cute kind of feeling, like, Oh, you did something great. Here's a gold star. Go do something else now, kind of thing, and just kind of like brush it off, kind of thing. It's a huge bummer because this would have been a huge launching point for other teams to, bring it up and start it themselves.
I wonder if they're refusing, one, because they're probably, scumbags, but two, because if they recognize them and then they get acquired, what position does that leave Xbox in? Because as Mayday Bomber says, Microsoft's pretty anti-union. I don't think this will lead to any changes. And if anything, they'll just be replaced.
What a bummer.
Amblix adds, pro tip, don't form a union when the company is about to be sold. Xbox outsources most of their QA as well. So I kind of understand if, like, I wouldn't say understand, but like, I get if they're saying we can't recognize you because we're about to be sold, and then
they just
that
have
would
so
create
much
issues.
stuff going on, right? Like, I'm not saying like it's not a small issue, but they're going under complete corporate restructuring, right? Like, that just sort of seems like a pinch of salt in a big old bowl of stew. Like, great, whatever. Keep on.
Mr. Badbit is in the chat. He says, at worst, the union can be ineffective. At best, they provide great relief to a worker, and anyone that says otherwise is a silly goose.
I like it.
Very PG and well said, Joe. Activision QA is also outsourced, and Phil stated he'd be willing to work with said union. Great, good to know. I did not see those comments. I mean, I just want to know like why they refused. There's still 6 to 18 months before the acquisition goes through, so we could very well see them be forcefully made to recognize the union in that time. But I've been talking a lot. Ethan, I want to go over to you.
Yeah. I will always fully support the right of workers to unionize no matter what the industry is. I think the video game industry is long overdue for at least some unions. I'm not saying like an entire video game industry union that drives up prices and stuff like that. But I mean, if these individual companies, they feel they're not being respected as workers, they should be able to unionize. And I'm assuming that's especially true at Activision. In terms of the union busting stuff, I don't foresee that. Well, it kind of puts Phil Spencer in a hard place, right? Because I'm sure Phil Spencer, the way he sees it, he wants to maintain the reputation of Xbox as being a good place to work. They've been relatively controversy-free for years now. They've been doing a very good job at rebuilding their image after the Xbox One era. And I think Phil would like to see a union there and to welcome it and to show that he welcomes those type of things. But it's really going to be up to Big Daddy Microsoft. And Microsoft is a different company than Xbox. It's the same company, obviously, but it's a different corporate structure. It's a different leadership than Xbox. So it definitely puts Phil Spencer in a very difficult place. I hope he's able to get through to the board of Microsoft and say, listen, let's just let this go. Let's let this happen. It's okay. It's not going to affect us that badly. So we'll see. We'll see what he has to do to get that deal done.
Yeah, I mean, it might affect them, though. If they let Raven do it, then like we know there's a bunch of other QA teams. They would also want the same treatment.
Yeah,
right.
You'll see a domino effect, definitely, if one gets done. But I don't know if that negatively impacts the industry or not. It could, it couldn't. I mean, you just don't know. Every union's different. Every union bosses are different. Some unions are good. Some unions have been bad and worked with the mob before. You never know with these things.
Lord,
well,
you never know with these things. So
just on like a final note, I can't really say anything about unions in like the electronic field, but like I was saying, blue collar stuff, and like, yeah, unions, I don't know, 95% of it is endorsing stupidity. At least I find in that field, blue collar field. Just so like a final note, because I feel like some people are like, Garrett's anti-union. I'm like, yeah, no, it's a little bit true, but I can't say anything about a field that I've never worked in before. But I've definitely seen like a 95% of a union's job is finding out where to put the drunken pipe fitter that always pays his union dues, while 5% of the time is doing the actual good work of notable effect. So
I get
that's
that.
my response. Yeah.
I just want to call attention off topic. Joe, what are you talking about? Where is God? I want a rematch. I don't know what you're referencing.
What? Joe, are you okay?
He showed up
I
saying, I'm
can't
here to
see the
fight
He's
chat.
having a
God.
crisis right now.
I'm not sure who God is in this situation, but I mean, if I can help in any way, Joe, let me know. Unions, though, there's discussion going on in the chat.
Yeah.
You know, some people think their union sucks.
Well,
others,
it's a hot topic issue, right? It's all
everyone
depends
has
on.
feelings.
Yeah, it's depends what industry you're in.
I think it comes down to some unions good, some unions bad, which I think Ethan said. It really depends. But if the choice is between them getting fired and getting like crunch and all this awful working conditions, I would rather them unionize and then have a good
but I
life.
don't think you need to have a full-blown union to go over to your coworker and be like, hey, are you sick of seeing this face more than your wife? Do you want to walk out today? I don't think you need a union for that.
Well, they've been walking out though, and it's not working. It's the problem. Activision and Blizzard don't care.
Get on the intercom then. Get a few more people. I just like unions. It just seems like the only difference between what I just said and a union is a group email.
I think you're minimizing it a little bit, but we're gonna move on
Whatever.
before
I don't know. Maybe I'm just like coming out of left field. I can't see the chat. Maybe everyone's lynching me right now. I don't know.
Yeah. Please don't unsubscribe from Garrett. He's only here on Thursdays. But if
I'm the flavor that comes in.
If you like the video and you're having a good time, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. We appreciate you for being here and checking us out. Joe is still going off saying, I am the king of kings, Kev. I've never felt more alive. And then
cerebral assassin, the king of kings.
Is he living through his own version of Crank the movie?
I don't know, but then
he could be
makes
living
the point
vicariously through himself.
He makes the point I made. All right, we're not done talking about Blizzard, guys, but we are. As long as Joe's going to keep up the energy, I'm here for it. Story number 3: Blizzard's making a new game, guys. This comes officially from Blizzard. Blizzard is embarking on our next quest. We're going on a journey to a whole new universe, home to a brand new survival game for PC and console, a place full of heroes we have yet to meet, stories yet to be told, and adventures yet to be lived. The unannounced game seems to be incredibly early at this stage, but they posted a bunch of job listings for it. So seems like Blizzard's making a new game that we'll probably get in 10 years, judging by Blizzard. But survival game, I'm out. Not my genre at all. So not for me. I'm hoping Garrett, Ethan, I know you guys might like survival games a little more.
A survival game by Blizzard would be genius with their lore building and their worlds. Because think about it, they're the fathers of the modern tower defense games. They created a lot of different games back in the day, and with their lore and entities back with Warcraft 3, right? So I don't know, I'm excited for it. I think that they could do great. Just don't give me a third person camera. I will lose it. First person only for survival. I don't know why it's a weird nuance for me.
Okay.
But yeah, that's about it. Blizzard,
Ethan?
I think, will do great.
Yeah.
Ethan, what were you gonna say?
I mean, yeah, I'm kind of on the same wavelength as you two. Is survival games, all I think of is, oh, good, I get to chop down wood and collect rocks and build structures again. I just don't care anymore. It's been decades with this survival type of game type, and I'm over it, really.
Sorry, you can go.
No, I'm just saying. Survival's not my kind of thing. However, I'm digging the artwork that they showed.
Yeah,
concept art looks awesome.
I love the meshing of opposite kind of vibes, for lack of a better word. It's kind of why on the PlayStation side, I'm kind of digging Forspoken, because the main character is very aware of oh my god, is that a dragon? And very aware that she's in the weird place. And so to see a modern bicycle and 2 teens with backpacks on, and in the distance is a floating castle. It's kind of exciting from a world perspective, but anything but survival to me.
Yeah,
that's
agreed.
the only thing.
It's just going to be a higher resolution Valheim. I mean,
yeah. And do you think that they would have had the okay from Microsoft to start on this?
no, this has probably been in the
no, I don't-
pipeline for a while.
No, I don't think Microsoft gets any say in this.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah.
But I guarantee you that when the acquisition goes through, they're gonna keep letting them make it. And
yeah.
I would hope so.
Yeah,
I would hope no projects get canceled during.
I mean, all the
takeover.
stories we've heard, like Double Fine got acquired, and they were like, "Here's more money for boss fights for Psychonauts 2."
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
So like, if anything, Microsoft might help them. Not that I think Blizzard needs more money, but
from what I know, Phil Spencer doesn't like canceling projects if they're already in progress. It's not how he wants to run his company.
Didn't he cancel Scalebound, or was that somebody else?
Yeah, that was the lesson learned with Scalebound.
I thought that was Don Matrick.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Really?
This is me and my not great Xbox knowledge.
Somebody look that up. I thought it was Phil Spencer. I thought that was like his first and last axing.
It was canceled in 2017, so that would have been under Phil Spencer.
Yeah,
really?
Yeah, like
for some reason,
I'm pretty sure that was like the great lesson learned. That was the big rebound off of Double Consideration, and then
his one mistake.
Yeah, the one great mistake. Nobody has ever let him forget it.
Wasn't there another one that still hasn't seen the light of day? What, Phantom Dust? Being remade or something?
That got retooled. It was going to be a remake, and then it got turned into a remaster.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. No, that's another one. People were disappointed with that. Joe says, I'm jumping back into Redacted. I love you all. Thank you, Joe. Have fun.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out Luke Lore, a friend of the show, in the chat.
What up, Luke?
And then we got lost a lot of time in Ark. I'm down, says Amblix. And then Mayday Bomber confirms.
Survival games aren't complete garbage. You get to do what you want. It's great to have freedom and personal choice.
Plus, Ark 2 has Vin Diesel.
Oh God, that trailer was
that
so
was
bad.
Actually I've been having like a bit of a trigger issue that I noticed since Keanu Reeves on Cyberpunk. Anytime I see a movie star in there, it's like it instantly drops 3 points in my head. It's like, Vin Diesel, damn.
Oh my God.
It was good. Like sorry, man. Sorry, Keanu Reeves really like bummed it for me. We had good representation in my head.
The only survival game I've played and actually enjoyed at all was Grounded, which is one like I think it's because like I don't know, something about the like cartoony and like all the bugs and like the world is just really appealing to be in, which I don't really find in most survival games. Mostly they're like post-apocalyptic or like I don't know. They just the setting doesn't appeal to me, and then the fact that I have to also struggle to keep playing the game.
I think the last Survivor game that I like really got into was Subnautica.
Subnautica is a lot of fun though.
I felt that was such it was so different from the norm of survival games. I feel like so. I mean, that's probably why I got so into it. But that's incredible.
And I'm super weird. I don't like playing them. I like watching Let's Plays of them.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, people that are good at the game and you could actually watch what they do. It's really fun.
Love Achievement Hunters 7 Days to Die back in the day.
Oh, Achievement Hunter. Wow. That's a throwback.
I loved watching them play that stuff. So yeah, I enjoy watching people play them, but for me, playing is like I get bored very quickly.
Yeah.
I just saw the message Joe sent to Luke, and I'm not gonna read it, but it's funny. It's classic you guys.
Yeah, frenemies with quotes.
Too. Always cracking me up on Twitter.
Love the energy.
All right, guys, we're gonna talk about some more games. Story number 4, Elder Scrolls 6 could be in 2027? ? This comes from Games Radar. Officially, the information comes from Bethesda HR employee's LinkedIn profile, which specifically notes that the development studio is still in pre-production phase of Elder Scrolls 6. Todd Howard stated that there's a 4 to 5 year development period between games, with Starfield launching the end of this year, hopefully. That could put Elder Scrolls 6 as far away as 2027, with the next Fallout, and I'm adding this, potentially next decade, guys. If you think about that time frame, we could not see Fallout until like 3032 at this rate. What do you think about that, Kyle?
Stop talking about games until they're ready.
Right?
Something that I appreciate of Fallout 4, it was unveiled and then it was out months later.
Right?
Similar to actually last year with Guardians of the Galaxy, it was unveiled during E3 time and it launched a few months later. I'm not saying every game has to do that, but seeing a game with a 2027 release date is wild. The same thing like that Star Wars game by Quantic Dream that was showed off at Game Awards. That thing is at least 5 years away.
Mm-hmm.
Like, stop showing them way too early. It's nonsense.
Yeah. Garrett, you wanted to follow up?
He said it pretty good. I just wish that they would stop talking about this. Like, I'm a little annoyed with it. Like, not annoyed, that's not the right word, but it's like, how many times, like, I think we talked about, like, this is going to take about this amount of time, probably like 6-7 times on our show ourselves, and we don't do the Western RPGs that much. Like, God, just like, leave it drop. I just want to hear more info about Starfield. Like, I'm hoping that they have, like, a universe wind-up web series. So, like, every few months, how we hear, like, Elder Scrolls going to come out 27 or might come out 2077 at this point.
50 years later.
But like, it's just like, just let it lie. There's so much stuff that they're going to work on before this. There's going to be Starfield. If Starfield goes good, they probably have 2 years allotted just for DLC. 2 DLC if it goes bad, up to 6 if it goes good, like the pretty standard one for most Bethesda games. 3 smaller ones, 3 large DLC sized games. These things take time. And like, I don't know. It's just, we're kicking the dead horse.
For sure.
Let it chill.
Going into the chat for a second, Shabaruni says, preach. I don't want to know until it's within a year, which I think good statement. Like we said with Fallout 4, it was like 4 months or something between reveal and release, which I think people, I saw someone was like, Starfield's getting delayed because they haven't showed us anything yet. I was like, that's Bethesda's MO though. Like, if they haven't shown us something, I'm taking that as a good sign. Like, they're going to keep everything, and then this summer we're going to get a drop. So
yeah, you got the date in November when it's going to release. That you're going to hear nothing until, like, I was thinking 4 months before, but because it's a new IP, maybe like 6 months, so that they could start, like I was saying, having universe building videos like they had with the, what do they call it? The strength. What in the Fallout universe, like they had that web series before where it showed like a little bit about the universe. But yeah, I think they're gonna have like a little media wind up here in probably 6 months before the game release, not too much before that.
Luke says, I wish they stopped that too, Kyle. I think it's because of investors, but man, it's frustrating.
I also think a lot of people can learn from Cyberpunk of overshowing something, and clearly pushing it until it's ready, and seeing what happens. Yeah. Also, to bring up the point of like Fallout potentially coming out next decade, do you think that they would give Fallout to Obsidian after Outer Worlds 2 or Avowed? And let them
I think a spin-off game is already in the works.
Probably. Yeah.
I think that the day that they switched over to Xbox, they just walked over like, New Vegas? New Vegas.
I don't know about that, but no, there's 0% chance they let Fallout sit for a decade.
Yeah.
Plus,
yeah, no.
like 0.
Yeah,
they will give it to someone else. Michael Jason, thinking about getting a Series X when they are available. Any games y'all recommend? Not a fan of first person though.
Psychonauts 2.
Psychonauts 2 for
Play
sure.
that video game for
sure.
Yes, play that game.
Forza Horizon 5 is a good shout. Even if you're not a person that likes racing games, like I found a lot to love in Forza Horizon 5. Hellblade is on Game Pass. I think it's a phenomenal.
Switching over from PlayStation, Gears of War, like Kyle was saying, it's a great
start off with
great switch over series. Yeah,
for sure. Fable, if you can stand back a few generations and you've never had an Xbox, I recommend Fable for an RPG because I love Fable.
Shout out to the indies that Xbox has, like Death's Door.
Death's Door.
Death's Door is fantastic.
Nobody Saves the World. We were just talking about it.
And Tunic comes out, I think, in a couple months as well.
March.
So, like,
It's crazy.
So yeah, there's a bunch. Honestly, get Game Pass. You will find games to love.
Yeah.
You'll be
on the console.
overwhelmed.
Yeah. There's plenty. You don't have to play first person games. I rarely do. So
Yeah.
you'll be fine. Okay, guys, we were talking about Fallout before the lovely question from Michael.
Elder Scrolls.
Are they ever making a new Killer Instinct? Rumor is from what I've heard. That's all we got is a rumor right now, Michael. But maybe the one's on Game Pass though. It's great. Holds up. You can go play it. Fallout. No, I think if we're getting back on topic, Fallout, I think they'll give it to someone else. If they haven't already, because there's no way 2032. We're not waiting for another Fallout 5 or Fallout New Vegas 2.
I mean, do you think Obsidian could be able to handle the load of making a full-fledged Fallout game right now with what they're working on in the pipeline?
I don't think right now. I think after Avowed, I think there'll be a Fallout game from them. But yeah, they already have 2 massive RPG games that they're making.
Yeah.
Well, didn't they say that they're working on 4 games total right now?
Jeez.
Yeah, they got
Maybe
Outer
it
Worlds
could be
2. They have
Avowed.
They have that
Grounded.
Grounded, and then
smaller game.
Project. What is it? It's like the detect. It's like the what's the name of that game where there's no combat? You're a detective.
I can't think of it.
Sherlock Holmes?
No,
No.
it's an indie game. It just came to PlayStation and Xbox a few. Disco Elysium.
Okay.
Yes, they're making a Disco Elysium style game.
Cool.
Yes. Luke says hit the like button. Thank you. Yes, please do like the hit. Project Mara is Ninja Theory. Project Mara is Ninja Theory. They're making that creepy, realistic, don't know if this is a real staircase or not game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm there for it. Ninja Theory. No. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting. I don't think Obsidian is staffed for it. I think it would have to be someone else. Whether that be someone at Bethesda because they'll know the inner workings inside and out, or they go to another Xbox studio and it's like, do you want this?
If I could speak on Elder Scrolls real quick.
Sure.
I mean, Elder Scrolls is a very special series to me, but I think by the time we start talking about Elder Scrolls 6 actually coming out, it is going to be an event larger than Starfield is. It's going to be an event larger than Halo Infinite's release. It's going to be probably the biggest event in Xbox's history when Elder Scrolls 6 releases on Game Pass for, as an Xbox exclusive. That's absolutely massive. So I appreciate them pushing it out. They have to get it right. If we go way back in time to Skyrim's release, we remember how buggy that game was. And I actually just had another experience this last week. I've been playing Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion through again to get some of the achievements. And my God, I had 2 main quest lines break on me because it was unfinished. And so, Bethesda hasn't hit home runs every time with these Elder Scrolls games in terms of being a finished product and having all the bugs worked out. So to think, they're going to get this one right, and hopefully 15 years is enough time to put out an extremely polished product that is going to be the biggest launch in Xbox history. I think it's a smart move. Obviously, it's sad because I want to play Elder Scrolls 6 now, but I understand that's just not the reality of the situation.
And am I crazy for thinking this? But in 2027, Series X would be 7 years old.
Yeah.
Would Elder Scrolls 6, would they hold it to be the launch of whatever the next
that
Xbox
would be interesting.
Would be?
Yeah. That's
if they are still doing the console generation typical 7-8 years kind of thing.
Right.
That'd be wild. A launch Elder Scrolls 6.
And I can't imagine how big of a game Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, 15 years of development, we
massive.
see the jumps in graphical fidelity and world size between Morrowind and then to Oblivion and then to Skyrim. I mean, imagine the jump we're going to see here. So, I mean, very well in 2027, Elder Scrolls 6 could be taxing on the Series X system. Yeah. You never know. So,
well, if rumors are believed, and I hope they're not true, we'd get a mid-gen refresh, which I personally don't want to happen, but that's the end of a normal console life cycle. But with the chip shortages, I'm not sure.
That's true.
We could see a longer generation.
That's very
this
true.
Generation, yeah. I think that's more likely. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility to say this generation goes 10 years and then we get a mid-gen refresh. Like, I'd be more okay if that's their plan. But I don't. If it maybe cross-gen, but then again, if that was their strat, why isn't Starfield cross-gen? Like, they've shown they don't really care. Like, if it's the new consoles out, they're gonna put it on that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
It hurts knowing that there is a PlayStation version of Starfield.
Yeah.
With lots of work into it that I'm never going to be able to play.
Yeah, that's wild to think of. I've never thought of that. I wonder what they did with all that.
That could have been exclusive.
A lot of developers probably really upset about that.
Yeah.
It's crazy. There's the whole I put so much work into the PS5 version.
Yeah.
I gotta delete it all. No, it's crazy. It's wild. We'll see what Bethesda has in store for us. They've been putting out games, and we got more coming this year from Arcane and Bethesda themselves. So we'll see how that goes. But story number 5, guys, we'll move along here. It is Halo Infinite's and Forza Horizon's player counts has been revealed. So Halo Infinite, as revealed by Satya Nadella yesterday, has surpassed 20 million players, and right behind is Forza Horizon 5 at 18 million. These are incredibly strong numbers for the games that only released 2 to 3 months ago. Speaking of Halo, 343 has also announced updates are coming to their Battle Pass, starting with Season 2, currently scheduled to begin in May. Players will be able to earn credits as part of the game's progression. So there's I combine those two smaller stories, but 20 million is massive for a game that came out a little over a month ago. Even Forza, and both of them are on Game Pass. Like, that is crazy to me to think about, that people can sign up and play on Game Pass, but we know that these games sold well because the MPD for Halo in December was number 2, and Forza made the top 20 for the year coming out in November. Like, it's astounding. I know everyone's like, Game Pass hurts sales, and maybe to some aspect it does, but people clearly bought these 2 games and are playing them.
Yeah.
Physical media, baby.
Yeah, exactly. Except the damn Halo Infinite disc version didn't even come with a campaign pre-installed, so Xbox has started doing some of that stuff. But anyways, I have my own gripes with that. But yeah, it's obviously it's good because, I mean, more people have access to these games. I mean, obviously Halo benefits from its free-to-play model on its multiplayer, and Xbox benefits greatly from having both PC and console ports, like day and date, same time. So the player count is astronomical. I remember back in the day when we were impressed by Halo 3's launch day numbers, 1 million people online at once, 1 million people, holy cow. And we had that Halo 3 map that showed the little lights for every person that was online and all that stuff. So 20 million, that's an incredible number, and it just shows how popular our favorite medium of entertainment is getting. I think it's just good news all around. Gamers are playing games. It's great.
Absolutely. Garrett, Kyle, feel free to jump in.
I feel like I might just be the bad guy today. Holy
Oh God, what now?
What can you get bad out of this?
Well, no, just like, I think that's great and everything, but like, is that bot copies or is that concurrent players?
For Forza, we know it's people that have played the game because they have that in-game leaderboard.
Yeah.
I assume Halo would be the same.
Yeah.
All right. Because, like, I was thinking with the free-to-play multiplayer, that's a bit of a low number. Like,
20 million?
Look up Fortnite. Look up.
That's different. That's Fortnite.
These are free-to-play games.
That game's
that's
also
the
been
league
out
that it's
for
in. That's
how long now?
That's the bench where they wanted to sit down on. Now let's look at the bench that they're sitting down on. They wanted to go to the free-to-play route. Let's check it.
All right, fair enough.
Like, it's, what about Spellbreak? I think it was by far a B-rate battle royale game that came out. Like, I'm not putting it up to Halo's thing, but I think they had 10 million after a month and a half, 2 months.
Really?
Like, look it up. I could just be pulling numbers out of my ass, but like, I think, like, as far as free-to-play games go, I was sort of hoping for more. Wow. Not gonna lie.
I mean, I think 20 million is fantastic.
That's why I just wanted to confirm, like, is this bot copies? Or are they considering the free to play too?
Yeah, I mean, 20 million
Like,
is massive, right?
Yeah, 20 million is huge. Don't get me wrong, but remember,
I kind of feel where you're coming from a little bit.
like
as
Modern Warfare.
Yeah, as it's Halo, right?
Yeah.
I imagine everyone that owns an Xbox would download Halo.
Yeah,
But even
everyone
then,
who
like
had
20
access
million
to
is
it.
nothing to be upset
It's
about.
nothing to balk at.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying that it's like, oh, 20 million, but I'm just saying, like, Modern Warfare, like, how much did they get off of Warzone in like the first 3 days?
I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean,
I don't
Warzone
Like, I
benefits
think,
from
like,
being on every system too. So
yeah,
those
okay,
numbers are gonna be skewed.
I'll take a knee on that one.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, I'll debate, and when I'll take my losses. But no, I just sort of figured that number was like a little low.
You're just throwing me
With
for a loop here, Garrett. I didn't expect the adversarial reaction. Like, man,
I'm still just trying to get over the image of just a street with just different benches with different multiplayer games on.
Master Chief sitting down next to the Fortnite guy.
You sit next to Ariana Grande.
He's sitting across from the Master Chief skin in Fortnite.
Yeah.
They just looking at him.
More people like me than you.
Exactly.
Oh God, I've created such an ugly mental picture. I gotta pick my words. But yeah, no, that's just sort of where I was thinking, right? Because like, it's not like they came out with a full campaign multiplayer together for a bot package. They came out with essentially a multiplayer game and a single player game stitched together by the same IP. Correct? Am I wrong to assume that? They came out at different release dates, different times, right?
Well, I mean, one was a beta, but technically they released, and they're in the same client. Like, you load up Halo Infinite, the campaign and multiplayer are in the same icon.
Yeah, so is the Fortnite Battle Royale and Save the World. 2 different games, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay. Luke says your point is well made. If you've been out for years like Fortnite and Warzone, yeah, I would like to see Halo Infinite's player numbers in 5 years. Like,
oh yeah, but I'm just saying that, like, I think that there was an article. Somebody look it up, because like I say, I run it off my phone. I'm the slow one in the group with technology wise. But like, look it up. I swear that like Warzone had, like, I think it was easily a bigger number than that at the end of the first month. I think that there was some magazine article about it. Like I said, could be wrong. I'll take the L if I am. But yeah, I figured, like, yeah, just the higher number.
75 million players was the most recent milestone for Warzone.
Okay.
So,
and
that's been out for a few years now.
Yeah.
So
but like, it's already had a few controversial cycles. Yeah, like, I'm just saying, I'm not saying it is shit. I'm saying it's still placed, but I'm saying that it could have been more. Okay.
Like, hey, strive for better. I like the attitude.
Yeah.
Make it 30 million next time.
That's bad. I'm just trying to say, like, shoot for higher. I'm wondering if they were clear on the numbers on concurrent players or people who bought it, because that would be way more believable, right?
I believe Warzone had, from what I'm reading right here, 50 million after a month.
Okay. 50 million after a month. See what I'm talking about?
But again, like, PlayStation
I'm wondering if that is like the free-to-play model combined with the pay model, or if like we were sitting at a way higher number with the free-to-play, because then that makes way more sense, right?
I mean, I just think, listen, if Halo Infinite was on PlayStation, I think we'd see a higher number. That's all I'm saying.
You're damn straight you would.
They got 130 million, whatever.
We don't have any other first-person shooters.
You think they're over there playing Splitgate still? No, they ain't playing Splitgate still, all right? They'd be like, Halo Infinite's on PlayStation.
Yeah, 100
million downloads. 100 million downloads guaranteed on PlayStation. Oh man, that's my point though. Call of Duty, like, you can't really compare them.
Yeah,
PlayStation's user base is massive.
We'll talk about this again in 4 years.
That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
for sure.
But again, if you listen, Xbox, if you just want to beat Call of Duty, just throw Halo on PlayStation, and then you get 130 million players.
Yeah.
It's easy. I just solved everything. Wow. Okay. The low number was 25 million Game Pass. Luke says, I have heard that. I said it last week. I expected 30 at least. I made a bet on this podcast that it was 30 million Game Pass subs. So I hold my hands up. I agree with you. I thought it'd be more. All right, guys, we're moving through. We're winding down here. We got a few more stories. Little quick one. Story number 6 coming from Adam Bankhurst at IGN. Yakuza series creator Toshihiro Nagoshi has set up his own development studio. NetEase Games has announced that it has established Nagoshi Studio, a new development studio that's led by Yakuza series creator Toshihiro Nagoshi. Nagoshi says, one of my goals of the studio is to create an open atmosphere, saying he wants open discussions that ignore seniority and hierarchy. Yakuza Like a Dragon, my game of the year 2020, phenomenal game. And that should say something, because 2020, if you know what came out in 2020, that was the game I love. I am excited for the sequel, but knowing that the director of Yakuza has his own studio now, I'm not saying like just copy Yakuza. Maybe he will, maybe he won't, but I'm very intrigued and excited to see what comes out of his new studio with the financial backing of NetEase, which they're not as big as Tencent and they don't have as many, bad things attached to them as Tencent. But I will be interested. I'll be keeping an eye on this one for sure.
Yeah. Toshihiro Nagoshi, in my opinion, is an absolute genius. Yakuza series is a very incredible series. I started playing it back on the PlayStation 2. And then the most recent Yakuza type of game I played was Lost Judgment, which I absolutely adored. And I'm happy to see him moving on from the series, honestly, as much as I would love him to stay and pump out Yakuza games for the rest of his life. I mean, I understand you have to flex your creative talents and go do your own thing. And I'm really excited to see what he can pump out being independent now and being unshackled from that Yakuza series. So it's really, really exciting.
Mm-hmm. Kyle, are you a fan of Yakuza?
I've never played a Yakuza game.
Ooh,
I
recommend Like a Dragon.
Wow.
If you like
that's
JRPGs.
what I've heard. It just kind of got. I think the plan was me picking it up, but I just kind of forgot. And now that games are picking up again, I don't know when it'll be. But it seems like, and when I think video game, right, I think like games like Yakuza that do video game things.
Yeah,
like they seem.
Yes,
exactly. It seems like a great time. I really do love what he was saying there. How he was like, I'll listen to any voice in the studio. Like I love that open concept of everyone has a say in like get the creative juices flowing. That only is going to lead to positive, great things. So yeah, this is awesome. It's cool.
Yep, for sure. Garrett, I can't remember. Did you play Yakuza? I made like everyone on the show play Like a Dragon.
Yeah,
shut up about it.
You forced us to. That's what I was gonna say. Is like you actually chose the weirdest channel because like we resound with weird games. Save the World or Nobody Saves the World. I think it's going to be this year's game. Just predicting that now for the channel. But yeah, definitely got to try Yakuza. I didn't play the full way through. I got just after. I'll be vague. I'm extremely vague with my descriptions of where I am with games. After the old man arc.
What does that mean?
well, but like, so the people who played the game, like, there's definitely a storyline that involves a signature old man. That's where I dropped the game off. People who haven't played will have no clue what I'm talking about. People who have, like, I think
I
retirement.
put 65 hours into the game, and I'm not sure what you're talking about.
The retirement home arc.
The retirement home arc. Oh, okay.
The old man. Like,
that
I was pretty good with that.
Weird,
like, screw you.
A weird way to say that, man. Oh my lord. Manny Bomber, yes, the old man arc, my second favorite, right behind the grocery store arc.
I do know the grocery store. Like, I get what the hell he's saying.
Oh, that's funny. I can't with you. No.
I hope those are the chapter names in the game.
Yeah. Grocery store.
Grocery store. DMV.
Oh man, no, that's listen, I'm just excited to see what happens. Garrett, you should go back and finish it. Anyone that hasn't played it, it's on Game Pass. You don't need to play the other ones. It's turn-based and it's phenomenal. So if you want to get excited for this potential new game, even though it could be completely different, you'll get an idea of what this director is like, though. The way he produces the game, the way he wants to go, his kind of themes and characters. I think that's the strongest part of Yakuza is really that, like the relationship between characters. So if that sounds appealing, keep an eye on that studio. All right, guys, we're going to end with 2 rumors. And the first one comes from Jez Corden. He says on the Xbox 2 podcast that Apple might be poaching Xbox engineers to make its own game console. He says, I've been hearing for a while Apple has been approaching Xbox engineers to make its own console. I've heard for ages that Apple was exploring making a video game console. I don't know if it's going to be a VR play or a metaverse thing or something like that. I don't know if it'll come to fruition. I don't know if they've canceled it because Apple will explore a ton of stuff. I don't have amazing sources on this. So not the best rumor you've ever put out, Jez. I'm just going to be upfront. I don't think Apple, well, I don't know. So I shouldn't say I don't think Apple cares about gaming because I do think they care somewhat about it for the mobile space, at least right now. Yeah. And we know that Activision went to Apple as one of the people to be like, hey, do you want to buy us? So I'm not saying there is a 0% chance. I don't think it's likely they're coming in with their own console.
Yeah.
Have we not learned from the Ouya?
The Ouya?
Mobile, do you know what the Ouya is? Am I that old? Am I showing my age?
No, I don't know
what
the Ouya is.
Ouya was an actual home console that was like filled with mobile games that you can play on your TV. Like I believe Towerfall was actually like Ouya exclusive or like made for Ouya and then eventually came everywhere else. I'm so sick and tired of everyone getting into gaming now. I'm really tired. Like everyone has one. Like Amazon's got Luna before Bethesda was bought. Bethesda, I think, even had like a streaming service thing that they were working on. Like it's too much. It's too much.
Mayday Bomber, who I want to point out is this same age as me, says Ouya 2 incoming, so he apparently knows.
Yeah.
And then he says, but would Fortnite be allowed on it?
That's a great question.
Fortnite's an Ouya exclusive now.
Yeah.
I don't think Apple's going to make any giant moves like you saw Google or Amazon do. Because, I mean, honestly, Stadia and Luna both flopped. Nobody's really using the service anymore. And I think Apple realizes that. I don't see how Apple could think they could do it better. I think if Apple does anything, I think their boldest move would be to try and move into the VR market to compete directly with Facebook. And then at the lowest point, I think Apple might try and make like a premium product, like, you know, one of those Apple products that only people that have nothing but apples in their house buy type of products, you know, that can hook up to your TV, that's or an extension of Apple TV, or I don't know, that can get cloud gaming on it. Well, yeah, we'll see.
I know it would cost $6,000.
Yeah,
it'll cost $6,000 and only use one cable type. And
I 100% can see a version of AirPod called AirPod VR.
Oh god!
And it's like it's buds with the headset, just
wraps around your head.
Something.
Yeah.
Garrett, we're gonna move past this real quick, but you got anything to say on this Apple?
How quick?
Nonsense?
I could.
No, you can go. I'm just saying this isn't the most exciting news story. You know?
Oh come on! I can make anything exciting. Just watch me. All right. On the legit side, I don't think anything's going to actually practically happen of it, just because, like you guys were saying, they price gouge their hardware to oblivion. The gaming market ain't going to have none of that. No. But let's have some fun. Apple buys Embracer Group.
Ethan,
you know where I'm going with this.
Then they have 78 first-party studios ready to pump out C-rate games.
Tim Cook just walks into the boardroom. I don't know what any of you guys do. Just do what you do.
The alien,
just bring me some money.
The alien from Destroy All Humans is the console mascot.
Oh no!
No! It's gonna be the Unlimited Goose game or the Goose Dude. Yeah, come on.
All right. We've heard
Or
from you.
Goat Sim. That'd be great. That'd be great.
Mayday Bomber says, I bet all those Google Plus users are loving those 2012 games on
Oh
Stadia.
yeah, loving it.
All right, guys, we're gonna move into a better rumor to end the show. Our final story, and that is, could Xbox be making a Monster Hunter style co-op game? This broke today from Jeff Grubb, but I'm pulling from Video Game Chronicles. Andy Robinson says that GamesBeat journalist Jeff Grubb has said Microsoft is actively courted developers to make a co-op title in order to differentiate its Game Pass lineup. Jeff says they're working with certain affinity on what seems like a Monster Hunter style game. Jeff added that Microsoft contracted outside of Xbox Game Studios because they didn't want to tell any of their teams to make this game, and that it would be too expensive to get Monster Hunter on Game Pass itself, according to Jeff Grubb. Certain Affinity is a prolific support studio which has worked on Call of Duty, Halo, Left 4 Dead, and Doom. They announced last year that they've been contracted to lead development on an original IP. It seems like this could be that project. Kyle, Monster Hunter World is huge.
Yeah.
Xbox seems to want to get that energy into Game Pass. What are you feeling?
Is this just not what we brought up earlier? The regret of canceling Scalebound, coming back and be like, oh, you know what? We made a mistake.
Oops.
Oops. I think it'd be cool. I don't play the Monster Hunter games, but I think it'd be cool just to have another feather in the cap over there at Microsoft to have a Monster Hunter-esque game there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I did just look up Certain Affinity because I wasn't sure what they were working on.
Yeah.
They have a TBA of a game called Last Expedition, which I'm not sure, but they also have another TBA, Transformers Online.
What's that?
What?
I don't know. They're making a Transformers Online game? Like, I can't click on it to learn more about it, but that's wild.
I'm just saying, if it's like an MMO where you get to choose to be an Autobot or a Decepticon, right? That would be
okay.
Awesome.
Low-key, how many people do you think they're going to name their character Omnicron?
Oh my god.
Oh no.
Garrett, I can always count on you to take it from excitement to utter dread. Cancel the game.
I don't know. The idea popped into my head. I had to say it. Is it my turn on the rumor thing?
Kyle was talking. I don't know if he's done.
Oh yeah, no.
Sorry. Yeah, I sort of came in and just Hulk smashed that one. Yeah. My bad. But 2 notes. I think that's probably very likely simply out of just, I think that's the only type of game that they don't have right now, or at least something in the pipe for. Like, they have everything else going on right now, some sort of racing or sports. But on the other side, I think it's great just showing their business practice that they would go up to a third-party person instead of just broaching the subject. They're really sticking it to with the whole, we'll let our creative teams be creative. Mm-hmm. I think that's awesome.
For sure.
But yeah, I don't know. It's going to be made simply because they don't have anything in that genre.
Ethan?
Yeah, I never played any of the Monster Hunter games too. I mean, from the outside looking in, they look like hack and slash grinder games, and that's just not what I'm into. But I mean, if they make this game of the JRPG style, I mean, I think Xbox has been making a push into trying to get more JRPGs on their platform. I know there's a lot of talk about them trying to buy Sega. I don't think it's ever going to happen, but I know a lot of people are talking about it. But we know that Xbox wants to eventually expand more into the Japanese market. This is just another step towards that, so makes sense.
The chat, Mayday Bomber says, I'm not sure who he's answering here with I hope not Dauntless sucked. Did someone say something about Dauntless?
I did not know.
I don't remember anybody talking about Dauntless, but
I don't remember that.
He says, I think Monster Hunter is so unique and specific that copying it is a mistake. Oh, he's saying don't copy Monster Hunter. I say that as someone who put 200 plus hours into World. So he doesn't want to copy because Dauntless is a copy and it's not good. And I've put like 50 hours into World and it was fine. Like, I fell off of it after it did get grindy, because it's just like you go kill the same monster over and over and over and try to get like certain body parts from it. it's just it gets super repetitive. And Dauntless was even worse. Like it's a low budget ripoff that people like, but I did not enjoy it. Yeah, I mean, I understand that they want to capitalize on the hype of Monster Hunter World because it is huge. It's like Capcom's best game ever or something. But this isn't one I'm like super excited. Like, oh my God, I can't wait for a Monster Hunter style world in Game Pass. Like, there's plenty of other genres that I'm waiting for to come into Game Pass before, like, I'm looking
What genres? What genres are they missing? That's what I was sort of thinking, that the only thing that they're missing is
JRPGs.
a Monster Hunter.
Yeah, in terms of on Game Pass, JRPGs. I mean, we have JRPGs on the platform, but it's not happening on Game Pass, really.
JRPGs, they're getting a few. They got Tales of Rise this year, Scarlet Nexus, both phenomenal things. Tales of Rise is an in-game pass.
They recently got Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, right?
We got Final Fantasy 13, 13-2.
Yeah, I know 13's are there.
10 is on there too, I know. We need fighters, Luke Lore says. Absolutely. We need
that's true. That's
platform fighters preferably, but I'll take Killer Instinct. Smash Clone, just saying. Yeah.
They need to take back Power Stone. That was a great fighter game.
No, I mean, there's things they're missing besides like a kart racer, which maybe Crash Team Racing is now going to be their kart racer when they come in. So like that's fine, but throw some Microsoft characters in there, like just diversify it a little bit.
Yeah, just have Master Chief driving a mini Warthog.
That's what I was thinking.
But his knees have to be like
his knees, he's just squished in.
Okay, I don't know about that. I take back what I said.
No, it's gonna be great, Kevin. Just you wait.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
I was picturing more like a grunt flying a ghost or something. Like that would be cool.
No.
Fighters is what we need. JRPGs. We're getting visual novels. That seems to be a little trend right now. We got AI the Somnium Files, and Danganronpa just came in on Monday, which I played, and it's a visual novel.
It's a visual novel. It's cool as hell though.
Yeah, it is. The story is super. I said this last week. If there's an anime, which I haven't looked if there is, I'd watch the anime for sure because the story. Like I got 2 or 3 chapters in, I think, and I'm just like, it takes so long to get to the cool part of like the trial and stuff.
It definitely does.
Yeah, that's my hang up. But like if I could just watch an anime and be like, who killed who and like what's going on, like that'd be dope. Need more 2D platformers like Shantae, Mayday Bomber says. Yeah, kid-friendly games, which I think this acquisition that we've been talking about is to address that, with hopefully Banjo getting a remake, Toys for Bob, please. But yeah, there's things I think are more pressing than Monster Hunter style game. But each their own. Anyone has anything else to say on that before we wrap up the show?
No, sure.
All right. Well, Kyle, thank you so much for coming by. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'd love to have you back. It was a great time.
Yeah, absolutely. I had a great time. Thanks for having me. I love coming on, and even though as a PlayStation person, being welcomed by some Xbox fam. And yeah, had a great time. I come back whenever you want.
Oh yeah. Awesome. We will definitely take you up on that at some point for sure. And Joe obviously can come back too. I mean,
it's fine. He was talking about fighting God in the comments.
He wanted all the smoke.
I'm really curious what he's talking about. I don't know.
I'll text him afterwards. Like, Joe, what were you talking
Who's
about?
God? But Kyle, can you please let everyone know where they can find you, what you got going on, plug all your stuff?
Absolutely. You can find me on Twitter at Mr.KStep, also on PSN, Xbox, all the things. If you're looking at looking for what's new and upcoming for indie games, hit up 61indie.com. That's SIXONEINDIE, where we sit down with indie developers and talk about their games coming up and how they got into it and the ins and outs about the developer side of things, as well as just do regular podcasts and whatnot. It's a good time. So go check that out as well.
Definitely check.
And of course, oh my God, I forgot the trophy room. Usually Joe does the trophy room side of things. Also, if you play everything else, and you like PlayStation, go hit up PS Trophy Room on Twitter and PlayStation or the Trophy Room and PlayStation podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts. That would be fantastic.
Absolutely. I believe there's a Horizon giveaway going on.
That's right.
People want to.
If you rate our show 5 stars on Spotify or Apple and leave a review, and DM Joe that screenshot. You'll be entered to win Horizon Forbidden West. I believe we're also doing one for Elden Ring, but don't quote me on that one.
Ooh, maybe.
But yeah,
I don't know. I'm just saying, anyone listening or watching, if you want us to do giveaways, you got to subscribe. All right. Once we get to their subscriber count, okay, then we can start getting some giveaways. All right. But no, seriously, they put out a new episode of the Trophy Room this morning. Is great, and they also had a great new episode of the 6-1 IndieCast about Nobody Saves the World. Go check that one out. Great time all around. Ethan, where can they find you?
They can find me at WhiteCedar1 on Twitter, and they can find me at Gravy3448 on Xbox. And then also come talk to us in the Discord. We have fun there.
Absolutely. And Garrett, where can they find you?
Way1G, Twitter at Xbox.
Everyone, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for listening. If you've made it this far, make sure to like, share, subscribe. Like he said, come hang out with us in Discord. We do have a Patreon if you want content early, as I mentioned at the beginning of the show. Hi, King Arthur. Unfortunately, we're just wrapping up, but you can scroll back through the last hour and 45 minutes and enjoy a great conversation.
Hell yeah.
You can find me at the Muffin Man. That's a 1 instead of an I and an O instead of an A. And that's all I got. We will see you next Thursday, 5 p.m. And I think we got another guest stopping by. So come hang out with us. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.